change my orientation, my screen orientation. So I just did it, although I don't know why I have to. A little behind the scenes, I'm about to go live here on TikTok, but I've just got a couple things here. We're going to talk about all the stuff that's been going on about Emperor Musk, which is, I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it. So let's see here. No. 1 minute. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, we do the friendship. Reasons usually. Settings. Sorry. Audience controls. Nobody under 18. Settings. Effects. Green. Okay. Now I gotta find. Shoot. Oh, here we go. Speak easy. Okay, great, and we're live. And I'm going to read some stories. Read some stories. That didn't sound quite right. Hello, Daphne Brogdon. Thank you for joining. I'm Daphne Brogdon, TV show host, radio producer, culinary professional, comic, OG mom blogger. Let's create a kind community where we talk about things even when they're very, very hard. Alexa, turn down by 1. Little plug for tomorrow. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock Pacific time in the morning, I will be live on Food Talk Television, doing some live cooking. Still trying to figure out what I'm gonna make, so that'll be interesting. But Betty's here. Betty's one of my besties. Oh, and Maria, you're here too. So good to see you. Thank you for the likes. Okay, so here's how it works in the TikTok universe. But also hit the likes on YouTube too. In the TikTok universe, tap the screen. Tapping is clapping. All of that helps. These are the numbers. See underneath my name right now, it says 47. That means only 47 likes. Oh no. And you're supposed to end with like thousands. So if you can do that, that would be great. Also rewards. For those of you who don't know it, since TikTok had the ban, Alexa, turn down by 1. You cannot buy coins and rewards on the TikTok app right now. You have to go to TikTok.com, where it's actually cheaper because you don't have to pay the Apple fee. So, not just for me, but for other creators you want to support, hitting the rewards is super helpful for all of us. So, that's a little bit of business. I will repeat that because like I was in radio and you always have to ID and say things over and over again. So listen, we will go to trivia at the end like we always do. But unfortunately, I feel not as happy and fun as sometimes as I do with these lives. Because I know that the goal of what Trump is trying to do right now, and we know this because Stephen Bannon said it, which is flood the zone, put out 3 things a day. The media has a limited attention span. They can only concentrate on a few things, so maybe a few things don't go through, but something does go through. And thank you for all these likes, Betty, you're so helpful. Oh, Dolores is here. Hi, Dolores, so good to see you. So it's gone beyond this. As some of you know me, I'm a centrist. I voted for Harris, but in my community here, the reason it's called Speakeasy is because no matter what anybody's political predilections are, we talk kindly. I won't ever personally insult you, and hope vice versa, and nobody else in this group, because there's plenty of divisive places you can talk online, where you can just talk to your team and be rude and be mean and whatever, but we don't do that here. But I am concerned about Emperor Musk. And I've said this since Trump was elected. Hey, I didn't vote for him, but you know, this happens. Your person doesn't win, and so he's probably gonna, in this case, pass things that are gonna be different than maybe what I would have approved of, or perhaps more conservative than you might have approved of. Well, we've lived through that before, right? We've all had different presidents of different parties. What's different right now, it's really bothering me, is Elon Musk. And the things that are happening that don't seem legal, and certainly are anti-institutional. And I would invite people, I'd really be interested to know people who are Trump supporters if they're comfortable with what Musk is doing. Because he's reportedly, with DOGE, gone into the federal government with 6 very young guys and has gotten access to our records, knows quite a bit about us. And he is not a government employee. He is what they're calling a special, what was this? I wrote it down. Like a special White House employee, which gives him only 130 days until he has to produce the same sort of, financial disclosures and so forth that any White House employee has. Just the thing is, he wasn't elected. He hasn't gone through any kind of civil servant or Senate hearings or anything. He's just let to run amok. Let's see. Him finding wasteful spending is what we elected them for. Those records can be read by most government. He's not government, number one. Number two, wasteful spending, sure, you're right. A lot of people did that. Yes, and Dolores is saying there's no vetting. And I know Dolores is a Republican. And one of the things that I like to say here is I will critique Democrats too. I wouldn't like it if, let's say, for instance, George Soros, let's say Biden's still president, and he's bringing in George Soros because he's a favorite rich boogeyman of conservatives. Yeah, dark body. He has no security clearance. Exactly. Just Jules, the Treasury Department has locked out members of Congress who are the oversight committee. Yeah, I had a friend who's in Washington who said her senator and congressperson tried to get into USAID. They wouldn't even let him in. Okay. This is a soft coup. What's happening right now is a soft coup. I am not an alarmist by nature. I am alarmed. I am alarmed. So, getting back to my example, because I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but it was a good point that you said Trump was elected to take care of waste. One of the platforms was wasteful spending. Absolutely laudable. Are there inefficiencies in the government? 100%. I'm sure that there is a good way to look at that. First off, so let's say Biden lets Soros go rifling through our files, tax returns, all our data. Would you be comfortable? Let's say you're a left winger. Let's say, okay, well now Soros has gotten hold, and he's making it so they will no longer process any gun permits. Okay, you're very supportive of gun control. Are you gonna be like, yeah, that's great? No, it's not great. It's not great. It's totally inappropriate. This is a person who has no vetting, who is not a government employee, who was not elected. It's a terrible overreach. And if it's so laudable, which I think it is, to look at inefficiencies and spending in government, then you could so readily use some of the people who are already there, people who even voted for you. I'm sure you guys have been in a workplace like I have, and you get a new boss, or the company sold. I mean, I worked in TV for years. I can't tell you how many times. When I was working at TV Guide Channel, I used to say our channel was passed around like a drunk girl in the dorm. I mean, like every year we were like, who bought us this time? So it was always new people coming in. And sometimes they were better than others. And they'd come in and they'd go, okay, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And you've been at that company for a while and you're like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not what needs to be done. But what are you going to do? It's a new boss, so you just have to kind of go along with it. Eventually it doesn't work out, or, people end up getting pushed out. So who's the best to tell you how to run that company? People who are already in the company. Just the way at your workplace when you look around and go, we could do X, Y, and Z so much better than we could. That would be great. If Trump and his team did that, if they hey, let's round up, let's get, USAID. I'm not so sure they're thinking, I'm not so sure USAID's doing the right thing. Let's get a cadre of people we trust who are experienced in that organization. Say, on the down low, tell us, where do you think the inefficiencies are? Where do you think money could be better spent? Where do you think it's not going so well? That would be a legal, reputable, respectful, and quite frankly, if they got pushback from Democrats, they could easily produce well, really? Because we have a lot of data here from people in this organization. So we think actually the reforms we're doing totally make sense. So there you go. I know you guys have a lot of stuff and I'm not even going to be able to probably to get all of it. 2024 girl, don't be alarmed. We need 100% exposure to stop this madness of spending. Okay, again, whose ox is being gored? It's not legal. Congress is who can approve spending. The executive branch is not who approves spending. This is impoundment. This is not correct. This is not legal. Trust me, you don't want to go down this route no matter what political orientation is. It's not even that it's right wing. Look what happened in Venezuela. That country was ruined by a left wing. Hugo Chavez went in there, basically promised a chicken in every pot, and was a populist, told poor people he was going to make life better for them, and he plundered that country. That's why we have so many Venezuelan refugees now, because he took a country that had a strong middle class and devastated it. And Maduro, Chavez 2.0, is still mucking it up. Dolores, we just need to know who spent what. Yeah, exactly. Dolores, I think the aim is laudable. It's actually fine to say, of course. Even a liberal is going to say, yeah, there's government waste, there's government inefficiencies. But to go in there with a sledgehammer with somebody who's unelected, unvetted, is totally wrong. I'm surprised anybody would think that would be correct. A French 75. That's right. You talked before. The Democrats have plundered us for decades. Do you want to live in a society of laws or not? USAID was a presidential act, not congressional. Trump can't eliminate it. No, I don't think he can. I think that's really, you trust Musk over Democrats. Why? Why would you trust somebody you didn't elect him? Nobody elected him. He's kind of a goofball too. The over 60 guy, you are so correct. Thank you, over 60 guy. I appreciate it. Christy Pack, they need to be careful of how they spend our money. They're spending it unwisely. Again, a laudable goal. It's how you're going to do it though. How are you going to do it? And I think it's I also worry about our security because of Trump's reputation now, the way he's treating America. I don't think it's going to have a great amount of respect. We haven't even gotten into the tariffs, which is such a mess. We basically got Mexico and Canada to agree to what they had already agreed to and stressed everybody out. One of the big things he ran on was lowering prices. Tariffs are not going to lower prices. Eggs are more expensive now. Now that's because of avian flu. But he correctly diagnosed the problem in terms of people feeling left out. Government's not listening to us. In the inflation that followed the pandemic. So, yes, he was smart at tapping into that and amplifying that feeling. But his prescription is not correct. Again, I'm Daphne Brogdon. If you're just joining me, this is Speak Easy Politics, where we will talk about news of the day, but we will talk about it politely. I respect your opinion. You respect my opinion. And at the end, as always, we do our version of touching grass, which is we play trivia. Because in the end, even as excited as I can get about this, we also have to have balance, and we have to still have fun with the people we love, and eat good food, and have some fun. So tariffs are leverage, not policy. Well, tariffs are actually more than leverage because they're going to be used against us. And people's real jobs are affected by that, particularly in manufacturing and so forth. Dixon 603, maybe government isn't supposed to run like a business. It's not. It's not, because government is not supposed to, it isn't exactly supposed to run like a business. But even if you use the example that I did, where all businesses that we have all been involved in, the employees that you have that work there are usually the best ones. I mean, have you guys ever had that experience? Because I have, where, that kind of, the VC, the new money, somebody comes in with an idea and they think they're going to know how to run your business better than you have. And you're like, you have no idea what you're talking about, and the only way that ever works out is they end up firing a bunch of people, and then they go, look, we saved money because we fired a bunch of people. Well, that's not so great. But anyway, I want to get back to the security thing. I'm going to play a clip, and this was Rahm Emanuel was on. I thought he brought up a very interesting point, because one of my concerns is that with all the chaos, with all this sort of flooding the zone, it also means that Trump is not, as our president, is not perhaps paying as close attention to some security issues that could be really vital and important. Okay, let me play this because I thought it was an interesting. Wait, you can hear.
What's the likely impact?
Well, it's going to be dramatic. I mean, George, a couple points. On Tuesday, the president's going to host Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. He did exactly this, attacking the Justice Department inside Israel. It turned the country inside out. The defense forces warned them your deterrence is going to be degraded, and you had October 7th, the worst killing of Jews since the Holocaust. Now look, the bureaucracy of the Justice Department, and as well as the FBI, they can be running a campaign of internal vengeance or external vigilance. And it's one or the other. They can't do both. And we've seen this movie before, and it ended in October 7th. The Chinese are hacking us and cyber attacking, and the North Koreans constantly. The FBI and the Justice Department are key to it. That is also true about terrorist actions. And I'll tell you one example. When I was chief of staff, a young man in the intelligence agencies found a word that he said did not make sense on a communication. A lot of people said, oh, it's nothing, forget about it. We encouraged him to pursue it. We all did. And he pursued it and ended up being the young man in Denver, bought 12 backpacks, a lot of chemicals, and was driving driving
Okay, so they were saying that because of that careful attention, they got it. But I thought that was a very interesting point that Rahm Emanuel made about how that could really put us in some danger. Let's see. Joseph, the president of Ukraine confirmed what Elon Musk found. The aid never made it to Ukraine. Rahm Emanuel, completely lawless, would make a great candidate. Yeah, he was a great chief of staff for Obama. Metallica 23, a lot of time that VC money comes in and they fix a lot of nonsense for people that fear change. You spoken like somebody who maybe never lost their jobs in one of those shakeups. Let's see. Trump is doing amazing, says somebody. I'm sorry, I missed it. Against us, they've already started to help us. How is that helping you? How does this help a working class person? How does this help a middle class person in America? I don't see it. Eric, you're doing great. Thank you, Eric. You're so sweet. Oh yeah, remember Dolores, you're still a moderator, so you can silence anybody who's not polite. You're that's a standing thing. Take a look at the budget. 2/3 of spending is defense, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Yeah, and you know what? There are some things that Trump could do that would win me over, that would win over a lot of people. Number one is, hey, let's shore up Social Security. Why do we stop paying into it after $149,000 annual income when you look at all the rich people? Do you know how much we could help shore up Social Security if they would raise that? If you make more money, then you continue to pay into it. Why does it top out? That's so crazy. That means it's all on the back of working poor, middle class. That'd be great. The proposal that Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley have proposed to cap credit card interest at 10%. And it's not even like permanent. It's like even just a temporary, just to help people. Because right now it's over 20%. Like, these are actual things that could help us. This other stuff, to me, just speaks of ego. Elon Musk ego and Trump ego. Now, one of the things we've got to be careful of, and I've said this from the beginning when people were, oh, why are the Democrats doing this and that? You got to be calm. You got to pick your moments. You got to pick to what you're going to make a fuss about. Because there's a lot of things, okay, he's elected president. He's entitled to do, he can do. We're getting to things that he's not entitled to do, like stopping the grant funding. Congress is the purse strings. The president is not the purse strings, and a judge already put that on hold. And the things that, shutting down the USAID and all these other things. 2024, oh, you're being rude. How am I being rude? I don't see that. who robbed Social Security for years? Jeannie! Oh, I'm so glad to see you, Jeannie. Billionaire pay taxes. Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree with you. I mean, I remember there was a few years where my late husband was doing very, very well, and he was always like, happy to pay, happy to pay. He always paid paid more. Missy May says Trump is a disaster. Okay, completely lost. The Emmanuel family is no joke. I know, but all those boys, they did very well, didn't they? Rom said, 2024 girl, Rom said, never let a crisis go to waste. True. Old playbook, old ways, it's over. I'm not sure what your point is. The first part, you're right about that. And that's why we can see, that's why I think it's good to think, okay, well, what do we need to, sometimes when I'm in a crisis, I think, what am I supposed to learn here? What am I supposed to learn here? And what you can learn, this is Daphne Brogdon. Hi, I'm supposed to say this again a few times. Be sure to tap your screen if you enjoy this kind of calm political discourse from a centrist, and I appreciate you being here. So tap the screen, and then also, oh, the little rewardy things, which I guess are down here or here. Yes, those are also very, very helpful. Oh, and I have, if you please give me a follow. Lately, it's funny because the videos I've done lately are more like about like Grammy's red carpet and stuff, because I thought I just want to have fun. I can't eat, breathe, all of this politics stuff because it can be upsetting. So take a look at that, and also, if please become a subscriber. I do special videos for my subscribers. And I think I'm kind of caught up here. Oh, yes. Thank you, Dolores. Yes, yeah. Hit the gifts if you can. That's great. Thank you, sweetheart. The USAID was created by Kennedy, that's right, with an executive order. Trump can cancel it with an executive order. That's not what I read. I will look that up, but because I appreciate all that perspective, but that's not the reading that I had of it. And I know a couple extended family members who work for them. They're nice people. They just had a brand new baby, and they're furloughed. They're just like, what's happened? It's very abrupt, and you can't just dump. There is the thing, you have to give a government employee 30 days, especially if they're civil servants. So there are also a lot of laws there that they need to follow. Okay, God Country, Texas, you're just repeating yourself. Don't fill up the comments like that. My tone, very funny. Oh, it says Jeannie will lose their subscription benefits soon. You know what was so funny, Jeannie? I was trying to do a subscription-only video yesterday, and it wouldn't go, and I thought, did the subscriptions run out? So I got to check into that. Jeannie says, at this point, we can't be calm. You know, Jeannie, I'm having that problem. I'm trying to be, that's why I'm trying to at least be judicious about what we focus on. You know, because there could be a million things. And it'd be like, hey, you know, maybe somebody didn't vote for one. Okay, that's it. But what I'm concerned about is things that are systemic. And an unelected person going into our government, whether you agree with them politically or not, is dangerous. It sets a very bad precedent, if nothing else. Even if he's unsuccessful. The people here, French, whatever, 75, or the other ones who are supporting this, do you want somebody, a liberal billionaire doing this? Is that what you would want? You guys, you just can't. Just please. Sorry, trying to keep. Okay. It shouldn't top out. It should go all year. Okay, let me see what the new ones are. Yes, that is great. He was not elected official. Exactly. Oh my God, Dolores, I'm muting you, God Country, Texas, because you've already said your piece and you keep saying it. And I was nice to you about it, but it's enough. It is enough. Anthony, New York, all the employees of the government are hired, not elected, just like Elon. Okay, you're taking a snotty tone, which I don't appreciate, and that's not true, because they actually have to go through clearance. They have to go through, if you're in the White House, you have to show different financial disclosures. Oh, let me check, Dolores. Let me make sure. Hang on a second. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, you're all on. It should. There was. Okay, maybe there was something. Let's see. Let me think. Okay, sorry, you guys are trying to figure. Okay, let me try it again now. Try it again now. Lynn Beauty, a lot of his picks are not qualified. I agree with that. I agree with that. And I was, we talked about that live last week. I was pretty alarmed with some of the Tulsi Gabbard stuff. Good check. Oh, I wish I knew what that was about. Um, Ronnie, why are people upset when he's finding all these programs that are stealing our tax money? Well, when you say it like that, do you see how inflammatory that remark even is? You've just decided these programs are stealing our money. Why do you think they're stealing our money? Do you even know what it is when you do the USAID? Are there some inefficiencies? I'm sure there are. There's some mismanagement, but I know people who actually work there, and they're quite sincere in trying to help people. We do those things for a couple of reasons. One, we do those things because if you can help stabilize societies in, let's say, developing countries, then you are less likely to have to deal with mass migration. That's one thing. Number two, a lot of these places that maybe are not rich countries have minerals that we want. I have another friend who works in the government and who has gone and done, looking in Africa and Indonesia and so forth. China has made incredible inroads in places where those different communities feel that, oh, America's not doing anything for us. Sure, we'll sign it over to China. It's political. It is actually part of a grander scheme. It's not just wasting money. It's not just like you're handing $2 to some like homeless guy on the street. Like, what do you, I don't know if you how much you've ever studied foreign policy, but let's see here. Wolfden, it's money funneling. They can't account for the money. Any respectable businesses would allow it. Then you do an audit. So that's the first thing you do. Let's do an audit. Let's see where it went. Unfortunately, after Trump, you won't have many friends working in the government. Yeah, maybe not. MKP, we don't want those diseases or issues coming into the U.S. Absolutely true. So we help fight them. We show some love. We do help fight them. And it actually, you could say it's showing love, but it's also altruistic. Reminds me of when California years ago, there was a thing about whether illegal aliens were going to be able to access some public health care. And my father, who was a Republican, said, yeah. He goes, because I get on a bus. I don't want to get on a bus next to a guy with tuberculosis. Like I want to, as we learned with COVID, it's a global village. It's Dixon. These people don't realize any cuts will fund tax cuts for the rich, taxable income. These people are taxes for the rich. Yeah. I'm not sure what these people are. They did. I'm from California. Yeah. Ronnie, $200,000 a month for K-cups in the office and hardly anybody is in the office. Again, then do an audit. Then do a legal audit. This is the kind of thing they're supposed to do. And part of the problem is that Congress has ceded a lot of power to presidents over the years, depending upon which party's in power. Democrats have done it too. It's a real problem. Wait, there was something I was going to read to you that I thought was actually pretty darn good. Let me find it. Well, there was a couple things. There was one thing from the Atlantic about what are DOGE's metrics? What are their metrics for success? The end game for Musk seems to be just as it was with Twitter. Seize a polarized, inefficient institution, fuse his identity with it, and then use it to punish his enemy and reward his friends. Again, because why should we trust him? Why would you trust that guy? I don't get it. Dixon 603. That's what the inspector generals do, audit, but Trump fired all of them. Exactly, Dixon 603. That's another scary aspect to this whole story, that he fired the inspector generals, people who should be able to have some oversight. Sloven Heaven, how can you trust Democrats is a better question. I know you've been saying a lot of things that you're very pro-Trump, but I don't know why you say that. Again, you're saying programs are stealing our money. USAID needs to be shut down. The money gets squandered. Great, then have an audit. And now they're going after the Department of Education too. which I'm sure, again, I'm sure there's some things that we could agree. We went line by line. Let's cut from the Department of Education, but let's have people do it who are actually part of already our system. I mean, it's not like, you think the thousands and thousands of the people who work for the government are just like, you know, like don't have a brain. They don't have a work experience. Oh my God, how has the Department of Education worked out for us? Well, I know my friends who have kids with deep special needs. That's who funds it. That's how they get the funding for kids with special needs. That's one of the important things that they do. Don't pay your taxes. Well, you can't do that. You have to pay your taxes. Look how well that worked out for Wesley Snipes. That is great. My daughter's a teacher, and it has helped out tremendously in their school district. Yeah, exactly. Now, I'm sure there's some things that he could go into, and he can appoint the person who's going to be his Department of Education, which I believe he's actually said. Well, what I heard is that Trump has told her to, what's her name, Linda McMahon, to look for ways to like basically break down Department of Education. What I would suggest, hopefully, is if you could say things that pare down to maybe the essentials, like taking care of disabled kids. States can handle the schools' affairs. I think that they should be able to could do a lot, but I worry about the funding for disabled kids, and also financial aid also runs out of Department of Education. During the campaign, Trump said he would have Elon do this. This is a big reason why he got elected. I disagree, Ronnie. I don't think this is a big reason why he got elected. But also remember, the whole Elon Musk thing kind of happened just at the end of the campaign. Trump was going to win without Musk for a variety of reasons. And from what I get from a lot of Republicans, Elon Musk makes them a little uneasy, to say the least. You love the entrenched waste, fraud, abuse. This is the only way to shock and awe. Joseph, what if it was the other way around? What if this was a liberal who came in and did this? What if this was a Democrat? Would you still say that? Would you still say the shock and awe was appropriate? Okay, you've already said some stuff. Okay, could a state like New York keep things like IEPs going? From my understanding, no, they couldn't. Jeannie, 160 years. Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you. The Department of Education says Dixon does not set policy. This is disinformation. You know what they do? They do some things. Like, one thing that did make me crazy in the Department of Education, it started with W. Bush, was the No Child Left Behind, and then it mandated standardized tests, and then Obama did his version of it. Now, I get why they wanted that. They wanted some kind of metrics to show where the money went. But the problem is it ends up that your kids are just being taught to a test, and then we spend 2 weeks just having to go to those tests. So I don't love that. So that's why, of course, there's ability for reform and all that. Dixon, if any department is wasteful, it's the Department of Defense. They lose billions each year. Yes, that's another place that needs an audit. Like, remember, wasn't there something like the $1 million toilet? Wasn't that was a long time ago. Good vibes, right? They don't, and they don't care. I'm not. Some of this stuff, I missed the thing. That is great. Their goal is to get rid of the checks and balances. Well, that's what I'm so scared about, because that's one of the things that, when people would catastrophize about Trump getting elected, I'd always be like, hey, a lot of people agreed with him, and we do have a checks and balances, but this is a smashing of the checks and balances. If these ideas are so good, oh, thank you, Joe Boxster, I so appreciate it. If these ideas are so good and so strong and so popular, why do it in this not really legal way? Why do it this way? Because I think a lot of people, he could even kind of, give the Democrats a bit of comeuppance if on some of these issues, because I think a lot of people would agree. He could get popular support for some of the, the audits and we found waste and that kind of stuff. Oh my goodness. This is the last thing I'm going to read from you, because you don't talk how we talk here. This guy says, you keep crying about disabled kids and financial aid, not the federal government's responsibility. Really? Hmm. Well, I think it's a nice thing. I think that's a nice thing to help poor kids go to school. I got financial aid to go to college. I was pretty happy about that. That Pell Grant helped me out, my work study job. Okay, that is great. They don't care. Dolores, I missed that. It's legal. Where are the checks and balances? No records of where the money is spent. Well, there is a record. And the thing is that you can do it. You know, the GAO, the General Accounting Office, there are economists that are there. And people like Mitt Romney and John McCain, who are Republicans that I respect, they were very thoughtful. They used to say, well, like, hey, I have this notion. I think we should do X, Y, and Z, but can we get a report from the GAO? That's what they do. That's what congressional. And the GAO is nonpartisan. And I know people who work there, and they are absolutely nonpartisan. They call the balls and strikes as they see it. They say here. And so sometimes when the Republicans, the senators or Congress people get those reports, then they go, oh, yeah, I thought that was going to save money. Oh, I guess it's not. Or whatever. Or, yay, that is going to save money. Let's go for it. And then they try to, go forward. But, Trump is not a detail guy. That's not his thing. He's the big, blustery, big, big moment. The big moment with and I get that people, that he has a charisma and people find that appealing. But when you're playing with people's lives, especially when you have appointed essentially, unappointed, well, not formally, but yeah, the Emperor Musk, he's kind of upstaging Donald Trump now. And we elected Donald Trump. We did not elect Elon Musk. David, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Keep tapping the screen, and any rewards are very appreciated. I really hope it. That doesn't make any sense. Really helpful. Thank you. Nunya, his big moment is coming. Okay, John, Biden appointed Emperor Bill Gates. How do you even think that's comparable? How did Bill Gates do anything like this? He didn't. Did he go put beds in a federal office building? No. Elon Musk also is so distasteful how he is tweeting out, what about that simple way that you can file your taxes? You have a simple tax. It used to be a 1099 in the old days. It was a 1099. It was kind of the easy way. It was the easy form. So they had this other electronic way that people could not have to pay an accountant to file their taxes. And Elon just announced, we've done away with it, and fired everybody who was working on that. Huh? That was helping people who don't make much money file their taxes. Why would that be first on your chopping block? Arrogant billionaire. Pisses me off. Pete Tinorino San 795. So they are good with us spending millions on pushing transgender in other countries. I don't know anything about that, and if you've watched my lives before, you know that the one thing that I do agree with Trump on is stopping any kind of youth experimental trans procedures. So that wouldn't be that's not my signal. Okay, everybody has to be nice to my people like Betty and Dolores and Jeannie. Miranda, people with experience in fiduciary positions should be assessing. Exactly, Miranda. Exactly. Like people like at the GAO or the Inspector Generals. Dolores, my children never qualified for the Pell Grant. No aid. Well, maybe, I don't know. I was in a single family home, so I got one. Why should my tax dollars pay for your education? Well, would you rather they pay for missiles? The whole idea of why you fund public education, are you saying there shouldn't be public schools? Because I always went to public schools. It doesn't benefit any of us to have an uneducated populace. There's certain kind of societal agreements we've all made. Betty says he's been in such a short time, and look at the chaos already. And I think it's worth remembering, because people were disillusioned, I'll say that, with Biden or the Democrats at the end, and wanted to have Trump back. I think there was almost a little bit of amnesia of why Biden got elected in 20, which was this sort of chaotic where are we going? What's happening? You know, it was upsetting to people, even people who were kind of excited about having a Republican president. There is something, especially with the stock market. I'm sure you're like me. Your 401k is in the stock market, and you know, I think that that's going to be one of the few things that could possibly curtail some of this. Is that famously Trump is, if the stock market doesn't respond well to his policies, then he will amend them. There was another thing that was really good that I wanted to read. Shoot, where was it? Hang on, it was from the Wall Street Journal. Oh, darn it! I hate when this happens. Oh, here it is. Here it is. It says, can Elon Musk actually, okay, can the many legal questions surrounding Musk's Doge, all right, darn it, now I can't access it. This is what drives me crazy about Wall Street Journal. They're like, we'll let you read it once, but we won't let you read it again. That is great. They are pro-birth, not pro-life. Dixon, Trump could do many of these things legally. They control. Yes, I agree with you, Dixon. I agree with you. Trump could do many of these things legally. They control all levers of power. Absolutely, he could do them, and not only could he do them, he would get some bipartisan support, or certainly, you know, a centrist like me. Oh, you're auditing these departments and getting out waste and fraud. That sounds good. Don't send Elon Musk in there. I can't stand that guy. Stretch the stock market. Listen, the stock market's gone up, it's gone down, and you know what? Since the beginning of the year, my 401k is now probably a few thousand less than it was. Kwong Hu, for me, it seems like 3 years already. The level of chaos is insane, just 2 weeks on. I know, and this is why I also think we have to be really clear about not reacting to every single thing. Because obviously there's going to be plenty of things that are within his purview, which maybe not be our favorite, but are his right as president. Alexa, turn on like music again. What happened to my music? I hate when there's no music. It's the things that are outside of the legal means, the things that just seem that are just to make a show as opposed to being effective. Do you want to effectively assess and curtail spending in different departments? Great. Is this the way to do it? Is this the way to do it? Jaja Binks, the idea of DOGE had been around for years, and previously it was the U.S. Digital Service. It's different. I mean, listen, Reagan, Clinton, they all had advisors that said, you know, check out, you know, look at government waste and efficiency. Whether they did them or not, a lot of them, things didn't get changed. Okay, well, Trump could do that, and he could actually make the changes. But if he made them legally and with the input of the correct people, guess what? It's actually even going to, it would be more durable. Oh, Dolores, trivia time. Okay, we will get to that. Let me just read a few more comments. Thank you. Yes, we're almost at delivery. You're so cute. That is great. You know what? That is great. I've appreciated your comments. I hope you come back, and I hope you gave me a like or a follow. How much time you spent playing these games? Yeah, but not trivia. Yeah. Let's see what else here. Jaja, it's a huge think tank to make recommendations on cuts. Only Congress can cut. Yes, exactly. That's the whole point. Only Congress has the right to cut. But he could certainly make recommendations. And Trump has a big cult of personality, and Congress and Senate, the Republicans want to do what he wants. So if he put these ideas forward, I mean, if Elon Musk came in, well, fortunately, Elon Musk for next president, not legally, can't do it, wasn't born here, thank goodness. If he came in and said, I want to do this, and that, he would get a lot of the things cut. I mean, even Biden got stuff passed, and he didn't have a big majority. Italy, will cuts affect school busing? I don't know the answer to that. That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Lynette, if he does anything illegally, Dems will catch him. Well, you know, this brings up a really good point. What could the Democrats actually do? I mean, right now they're doing some making proposals and legislation, okay? But if you don't get any Republicans to sign on, it won't pass. They're doing press conferences in now and saying, we disapprove of this and that. I mean, I don't know what they can do when they don't have, unless some Republicans vote with them. U.S. DOGE is a temporary organization. Well, in 130 days, Elon Musk has to abide by the same rules, supposedly, if we're going to follow the rules, that other White House staff does. He will have to, submit paperwork and all that stuff like that. Anyway, okay. Alexa, turn on Grammy playlist. So here is where we're going to switch gears. And if you guys saw, I used to host a show called The Fashion Team. And we would do red carpet reviews. I kind of called myself a low-rent Joan Rivers. And what was it we did? And I used to write fashion jokes in Star Magazine. So recently I was like, I should do that again. So I did it for the inauguration, and I just did it for the Grammys. And those videos actually do very well here, and also they don't do as well on YouTube. They do well on TikTok, and they do well on Instagram. But they're fun. So that's why I thought, maybe we should do some kind of music trivia. Since the Grammys were just there. But I just want to thank you guys all for your comments. And I know a lot of people are very stressed, and I just want to be really clear that aeronautical, good, these salon reviews on the red carpet. Thank you. It's so good to see you. I just want to be really clear that however you voted, you are welcome in this live, as long as you're polite, and I appreciate it. And for the people who are feeling stressed like me, let's just pick our moments. Let's pick our moments and not flip out about every single thing. But let's talk about trivia. Okay, so this has a multiple choice because I think it's a little easier, because I know when I'm following lives, it's hard to write out a whole answer. So we're going to do music trivia questions. It's going to be A, B, C, D. I'll give it a little beat, so you just put your answer in, what you think, and then I'll let you know. So first one, number one. What 1980s pop singer won a 2013 Tony for Best Original Score for the musical Kinky Boots? Was it A, Madonna, B, Cyndi Lauper, C, Whitney Houston, or D, Pat Benatar? Oh, I didn't see you. I didn't see it, honey. TNA travel. The real lot of comments. Wait. All I saw is you're going to read my text. I don't know, honey. I think I missed it. Okay, so let's see. But we're doing trivia now. So let's see. What do we got here? All right. Cyndi Lauper. Okay, Lily said Cyndi Lauper. Pat Benatar. Dolores says Pat. A couple more for Cyndi Lauper. And the answer is Cyndi Lauper. Although I do love Pat Benatar. I'm not putting target on American Cyndi Lauper. I'm not sure. Okay, number two. What Bernstein musical set in 1950s New York was based on Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet? Oh, I don't even think I have to give you an option for that, right? You guys know what that is. 1950s New York, based on Romeo and Juliet. Leonard Bernstein did the music. I don't even know what it is. Not My Fair Lady, not Porgy and Bess, not The Sound of Music. It's West Side Story. All right, let's get to a better one here. All right. Now I don't know that much about actual technical music. So here's one. Which is not a vocal part of an all-male barbershop quartet? That's right, Lily, you got it. Which is not a vocal part in an all-male barbershop quartet? A, tenor, B, alto, C, baritone, or D, bass? Bass. Tenor, alto, baritone, which is not part of an barbershop quartet. Hi, Tumble Monkey. I'm so glad to see you. Did you just join us? Were you here? Paul says alto. Lily says alto. Oh, you guys are so smart. Okay, Jabel, I'd be with you. I'd be like, I don't know. Well, yeah, it's alto. It's an alto. Very smart. Very smart. Okay, in Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical, The Phantom of the Opera, with whom does the Phantom fall in love? Is it Meg, Carlotta, Christine or Madame Giry? If anybody's a fan, I'm the opera fan. Christine, says Lily. Tumble Monkey, says Lloyd. Paul says Christine. Okay, yes, it's Christine. See, I don't know that play, so I don't know. So you guys know it. All right. Oh, we're even though this is Grammys, we're going to classical. Next one's going to be classical. Which composer, known for his extensive body of work, including the Brandenburg Concerto and the Well-Tempered Cavalier, had 20 children? Yikes. Was it Mozart, A, Mozart, B, Beethoven, C, Bach, or D, Schubert? Who wrote those things and had 20 children? Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, or Schubert? I did not know that. Paul says Schubert. Any other guesses? No, I know Ash. I know he said that. Yeah. But okay, Lily, you're good. You know music stuff. Yes, the answer is Johann Sebastian Bach. Quite prolific in music and in other ways. Okay, number 6. Oh, we got another. Okay, let's see. The La Scala Opera House is located in which Italian city? Rome, Florence, Venice, or Milan? A, B, C, D. Rome, Florence, Venice, or Milan? La Scala Opera House. Lily says Milan. Jabal says Venice. Any other guess? Hi, Deanna. Thanks for joining. Gina says Milan. Paul says Florence. Okay, the answer is Milan. I guess I should know that. You know, my boyfriend's from Milan, so I should, but I don't know. I haven't been to opera. Okay. Okay, I want to get out of the. Okay, we're getting out of classical. According to D. Light, in what bodily organ does groove reside? Is groove in the brain, in the liver, in the heart, or in the stomach? This is so hard for me not to start singing. Where does groove reside? Paul says it's in the heart. Yes! Okay, Alexa, play D Light. Groove is in the heart. Groove is in the heart. I mean, groove is in the stomach. That wouldn't, no, I think that'd be really hard to sing, wouldn't it? Okay. In what rock band would you find Paul Hewson and David Evans? Is it Coldplay, U2, the Rolling Stones, or Radiohead? In what band would you find Paul Hewson and David Evans? Coldplay, U2, the Rolling Stones, or Radiohead? Alexa, turn up by 1. Lily says Radiohead. Anybody? Paul Hewson, David Evans. Those are not their stage names. Hint. Deanna says Coldplay. Okay, we got any? I know, Lily. I bet you're younger than me. That's why I know. Because if you're I think Gen Xers should know this. This was This was the first arena concert I ever went to. Tumble Monkey, you're terrible at this stuff. I'm glad you're here though. Okay, Paul Hewson's better known as Bono. David Evans is better known as The Edge. Now do you know? Any guesses? Yes, Paul, you too. Exactly. Okay, the bands Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and Nirvana were part of a scene in which U.S. city? Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, and Seattle. And if you lived through the 90s, you should know this. Dolores, next time we can do some gardening. English gardening. Become a subscriber. I'll do it on a subscriber one. Okay, Paul says grunge in Seattle, and Haley says Seattle 6. Gina says New York. Well, it's definitely Seattle. And by the way, have you guys ever seen one of the films to me that so captures that sort of that 90s vibe was no, Lily was Seattle. Yeah, I knew you were young. It was called, oh God, what was it called? It was so good. It was Bridget Fonda and Matt Dillon, and it's in Seattle, and the Gin Blossoms do the music, and it's called Singles. It's called Singles. It has not a great name, but it so captures that Seattle 90s vibe. And it's sweet. It's kind of a romantic comedy. I would recommend it. Okay, Alexa, turn down by one. What Beatles song ranked #1 on Rolling Stone's magazine list of the top 100 Fab Four tunes? Okay, so you figure all of the all of the Beatles. Oh, hi XPR News, and somebody named Jeff Davis. That's great. So, yeah, history, civics or sports. Well, Tumble Monkey, we've done a lot of history. I just thought since the Grammys we should do something different. Okay, so I'll give you choice. Come together, A, come together. B, because it's hard to write these all out. So just do A, B, C. So A, come together. B, Hard Day's Night. C, A Day in the Life. Or D, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. A, B, C, D. Come together. B, Hard Day's Night. C, A Day in the Life. D, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Okay, Gina says A, come together. Tumble Monkey says come together. Lily says Hard Day's Night. Any other guesses? I'll be honest, I was a little surprised. The question is, what Beatles song ranked #1 on Rolling Stone's magazine list of the top 100? It doesn't say by what criteria, though. Is it meaning like critically they think it was? Or does that mean it sold the most songs? It sold the most singles? Because I don't think that's the truth. So I'm not quite sure what their criteria is. Yellow Submarine. It's not an option, but if you talked about a popular song or how often it was played, Hard Day's Night. No, nobody got it. It was A Day in the Life. I read the news today, oh boy. That one, Day in the Life. Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking maybe they meant critically. That was kind of a funny one. All right. Talking about Canadian tariffs. Let's talk about Canadian singers. What Canadian singer was rockin' in the free world with the release of his 1989 album Freedom? Yeah, Let It Be, maybe. Would it be A, Leonard Cohen, B, Gordon Lightfoot? Oh, I love Gordon Lightfoot. C, Neil Young, or D, Bryan Adams? Yeah, Dolores, I dropped another Grammy red carpet video too. Paul says Neil. Okay, so does Gina say Neil? Jeff says Jeff Davis. You always think the president of the Confederacy, Jeff Davis. Bryan Adams. Okay, the answer is Neil Young. Keep on rocking in the free world. It was kind of, because, yeah, it was sort of I remember it almost being like a comeback in '89, that song. All right, we got two more. What classic record label, oh, this is easy. We might have to do 3 more. This is too easy. What classic record label boasted the acts Diana Ross and the Supremes and Marvin Gaye? Atlantic Records, Capitol Records, Sun Records, Motown. Come on, we all know this, right? I mean, Lily, you even got Neil Young right. Lily, you might get this right. Lily, you've got it. If Lily gets it right, then yeah. Yep, Lily and Gina, Dolores, you all got it right. Motown. By the way, if you're ever in Detroit, and I have a real soft spot in my heart for Detroit, I love Detroit, you can go to the original, Motown, and it's a trip because it's just like a house. I mean, Berry Gordy really just like converted a house, but it's unbelievable. All the artists that were there, all the things that went on. It's definitely worth a visit. Okay, what pop singer? This will be for you, Lily. This is for the younger people. What pop singer refers to her fans as little monsters? Is it Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, or Rihanna? Lily says Gaga. Gina says Gaga. You two are good. Yep. It's Lady Gaga. I only know that because of when she was on The Simpsons. Remember when she showed up to help Lisa? Any Simpsons fans? I love Simpsons. Okay. And then, okay, last one. What R&B crooner... Oh, wait, no, I have time for a couple more. What R&B crooner born in Honolulu was an Elvis impersonator at 4 years old? Wow, how cool is that? Yeah, you got it right, Deanna. What R&B crooner born in Honolulu was an Elvis impersonator at 4 years old? Yeah, Dolores, the Grammy goes to Lily, you're right. Was it Bruno Mars, Justin Timberlake, Usher, or John Legend? I would only get. Oh my God, Paul, PM Dawn, you just took me back. I forgot about PM Dawn. I loved that. They had a couple good songs, didn't they? Bruno. Jimmy says Bruno Mars. Any other guess? Yep. Well, Lily says, yeah. If Lily and Gina get it, then yeah, it's Bruno Mars. The only way I would know it is because it says he's from Hawaii, and I know he's from Hawaii. So, all right. What? This is an interesting one. Okay, we got a country music. We got a country music question. What famed country singer never wore a cowboy hat on stage? Was it Willie Nelson, George Jones, Johnny Cash, or Merle Haggard? I've definitely seen Willie Nelson wear a hat for sure. Is it Willie Nelson, George Jones, Johnny Cash, or Merle Haggard? Okay, Emma Higley says Cash. Paul says Cash. Yeah, I'm not sure I ever saw him wear a hat. Gina says Cash, but I'm not sure. George said, Dolores says George Jones. And you know what, Dolores? You're the winner. Winner, chicken digger. See, Dolores, you got it right. Yeah, it was George Jones. Who knew? All right. What rap artist makes a guest appearance on Katy Perry's single California Girls, which a song me and my daughter love since we're California girls? What rap artist makes a guest appearance on Katy Perry's single California Girls? Is it Dr. Dre, B, Jay-Z, C, Kanye West, or D, Snoop Dogg? Paul says Snoop. Oh, Tumble Monkey. See, you got it right too. Gina says Snoop. Any other guess? Even Dolores says you guys are right. And of course, it totally fits because Snoop is from the LBC. He's from Long Beach. He's a California guy. I met him, a quick anecdote. So years ago, I was hosting a show called The X Show. It was one of our last episodes. I think it was 2001. And Snoop Dogg came on. And he was a very nice gentleman. And I asked Charles Schultz, who had just done the Peanut, who, drew the Peanuts, had just passed. And I said, how do you feel about Charles Schultz passing? And he goes, yeah, man, that guy created my namesake. Man, that bummed me out. I thought that was kind of a moment. That was kind of oh, you're not nice. You go away. We don't like not nice people here. Mute, bye. You have options in your life. California, no doubt about it. Exactly. Okay, we'll do one more. Okay. Maybe that's too easy. Shoot. Okay, I don't know this. Nah, that's too obscure. It's kind of hard between the obscure and the. No, that's weird. Okay, this is sort of random. Okay, who sang at the wedding reception of Bill and Melinda Gates in Hawaii in 1994? Was it Willie Nelson, Elton John, Paul McCartney, or Stevie Wonder? Who sang at the Gates' wedding? Willie Nelson, Elton John, Paul McCartney, or Stevie Wonder? Those would all be big hits. Paul says Stevie. I think I would pick Stevie Wonder if I... I'm sure you have to pay him $1 million. Gina says Paul McCartney. Dolores says Stevie Wonder. Lily says Stevie Wonder. You're right. Tumble Monkey gets the win for the best joke. Paul Allen. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Paul Allen singing, yeah. No, the winner is Willie Nelson. They had Willie Nelson. So there you go. So anyway, you guys, thanks so much. Thanks for hanging out. We'll do this again on Thursday. And hopefully, there's always lots to talk about. There's always lots to talk about. Dolores, thank you for moderating. Thank you for your help, sweetheart. And I'll see you in a couple days. Oh, and tomorrow morning, my time, 11, I'll be on Food Talk Live cooking. Paul, I'm so glad. Thank Paul in Newark. Come again. Come again. So 1 o'clock your time tomorrow, I'm doing the cooking thing. All right. Thank you. Please come again, Paul. Okay. Bye-bye. And thank you guys. I know we don't have the same kind of robust participation in YouTube. People are a little meaner on YouTube. See, I mean, you guys, if you don't say nice things, I'm not gonna engage. Who cares? Who wants it?